welcome to the video lectures of English subject. Today we are going to learn the second lesson from the book Flamingo. The name of the lesson is Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood, and it is written by Anees Jung. Anees Jung is an Indian author, journalist and a columnist for newspaper in India as well as for abroad. Now coming to the theme of the lesson. So the theme of the lesson says about the poverty and child labor. As you can see, in the slum areas there is so much of poverty. The children are deprived of the basic necessities of life and they are forced to work in furnaces, glass bangles, industries, and they are forced to do child labor. Okay, child labor, you must have heard this word before. So they are forced to work just to get basic necessities of life, just to get food. So this is all about this lesson, and the lesson is an excerpt from the book Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood by Anees Jung. So this lesson is an excerpt from this book, from Anees Jung's book. Now when you talk about the lesson Lost Spring, let me tell you the outline. So this lesson, Anees Jung, she has described two stories. Now two stories are mentioned as, they are named as, the first story is named as Sometimes I Find a Rupee in Garbage. This story tells about a boy named Saheb who lives in Seemapuri. And the second story, I Want to Drive a Car. This story is said about a boy whose name is Mukesh and he is from Firozabad. So let us start the first story. Sometimes I Find a Rupee in Garbage, which is the story of Saheb, who is from Seemapuri. So the author Anees Jung, she encounters Saheb every morning, and when she sees Saheb, he is always in search of gold in the garbage. Now gold here does not mean the real gold what we purchase from the market, or it does not mean real gold, but gold here means a means of living, to get some food, to get coins or rupees so that they can buy something for themselves. So now when we talk about Saheb, he has come from Dhaka. Okay, and his full name is Saheb Alam. Saheb Alam means Lord of the Universe. See, this is the irony, you can say. His name is Saheb Alam and it means Lord of the Universe. But what work is he doing now? He is searching for gold in the garbage. He is scrounging in the garbage. So this is what he is doing, and his name's meaning is Lord of the Universe, just opposite to each other. So okay, now including Saheb, there are many more children who are busy in this work, searching for something in the garbage. Now these all children, they roam around in the morning and they are barefooted. They come in the morning and they go by the time of afternoon. Okay, till the time of noon they all go back. Now all these rag pickers live in Seemapuri. Seemapuri is a place where all these rag pickers, they live. Now let me tell you how is the condition of Seemapuri. There is no signs of development or progress in Seemapuri. The houses are of mud. There is no drainage system, no sewage system, and more than 10,000 rag pickers live here since 30 years. And they have no identity, and they only have ration cards. Why ration cards? To buy grains and to do voting. Okay, so this ration cards is only their identity, and their main focus is to have food, is to get food for their daily basis. So this is why they are forced to do rag picking, and this is the reason why children are also engaged into rag picking. Now survival in the Seemapuri means rag picking. Just because they don't have any work, they are deprived of the basic necessities of life, and therefore they are forced to do rag picking. So if they have to survive there in Seemapuri, the only option left with them is rag picking, to move around and to get something from and just meet the basic necessities of their life. So this is what the life of Seemapuri, the life of rag pickers in Seemapuri is. Now what happens is the author Anees Jung She now says again about Saheb. Now when the next time she encounters Saheb, she saw him in a tea stall. He was working there. He was carrying a canister. The canister means the you can say the thing in which tea is kept. So he was now doing a small job and he was getting 800 rupees and all his meals. So now Saheb is no longer his own master. He is under the tea stall owner, and now the weight of this canister is more heavier than the bag he was carrying while he was rag picking. So this was all about our first story about Saheb, whose full name is Saheb Ala. Now let us come to the second story of the lesson. The second story is I want to drive a car. So this story talks about Mukesh, who is from Firozabad. Now Mukesh belongs to a family of bangle makers in Firozabad. Firozabad, let me tell you, it is a city in India which is very famous for its bangle making. Now Mukesh wants to be a motor mechanic, but his dream looks like a false because every other family in Firozabad is engaged in bangle making, and the poverty has taken the families into its clutches, and this is the reason it is very difficult for Mukesh to become a motor mechanic. So every other family in Firozabad is engaged in bangle making, and about 20,000 children work in the industry of glass making with high temperatures, which is illegal. Child labor is illegal, you know it. So they don't have any proper home, and they are very poor. They are into the clutches of poverty, and they don't know anything except bangle making. So they even lose their eyesight while bangle making, while doing this profession. Now telling about Firozabad, the boys, I have already told you that every other family in Firozabad is engaged in bangle making, and boys and girls sit with their fathers and mothers to frame welding pieces of colored glass into circles of bangles. They make it the circles. There are small pieces of colored glass, they weld it and make circles of bangles circle, okay. Now young people, now this Anees Jung is also saying that young people who are also doing, they don't have such imagination that they can form a cooperative and bring this small business to a great level, to a high level. And she is telling that these young people, they do not organize themselves and make a cooperative so that their business would be more profitable. So she says that Anees Jung in this story says that there are two worlds. The one is of bangle makers who are making bangles in Firozabad, and the other world is of money lenders, middleman and police. But Mukesh wants to be a motor mechanic. He wants to drive a car. When Anees Jung, she encounters Mukesh and she asks whether he wants to fly a plane, he says no. Why he says no? Just because he wants to be a motor mechanic, he wants to drive a car, and very few planes fly over Firozabad, and this is the reason he don't want to fly a plane, but he rather wants to ride a car. This is the reason the lesson has been named Lost Spring, just because the children, they have lost their childhood. They are forced to work in the garbage, in the industries, they are forced to do child labor, and due to poverty they even cannot go to schools, and this is the reason they have lost their childhood, they are deprived of their childhood, And Anees Jung has mentioned these two stories. There are many children like this who are deprived of the basic necessities of life, and they are busy finding means of life to get food so that they can have 2 meals per day. So this is the situation. So this was all about the lesson Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. Until the next video, keep learning and keep recalling. Thank you.